What's up, guys? HockeyTikTockey is back with another video. Another episode of the podcast. Today, we're talking Calgary Flames once again. The start to their preseason is going very well. They're 3-0-1 at the moment. The last game was yesterday night, I believe, or maybe it was 2 nights ago. I can't remember now. But either way, they lost to Vancouver in overtime. It was a really good game because Vancouver had a lot of their stars playing. Meanwhile, Calgary had just been playing a lot of their, sort of up-and-coming guys. And we got a couple of looks at some new line combinations. So that's kind of what I wanted to go over today, guys, is the new players coming into the roster. Because so far this year, I've heard that the Flames are kind of rolling with their core group at forward, including, Backlund, Coleman, Sharangovich, Kadri. All the notable veterans are going to be playing, but there's a few spots that are sort of up in the air and to be determined. So that's kind of where the focus of this video was going to be at, because I've heard a lot of people talking about a guy named Matt Coronato. He would be in his second season this year, coming into this 2024-2025 season. And last year he just played, a handful of games with the NHL, and I think the majority of the season he played with the AHL club. So now it's kind of like, where is he going to be? Is he going to be on the NHL squad, or is he going to go back to the AHL? We don't know yet. So in my opinion, I think he deserves a roster spot. Dissecting the lines a little bit closer, I think I'm gonna just try to rattle this off the top of my head. So comment if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the Flames coaches have in mind playing Martin Pospisil with Huberdeau and Mantha right now. That's a line combo. And then they have Kadri with Kuzmenko. Kuzmenko and Sharangovich as a second line, or a different line. And then they have Backlund, Coleman, Zari as a line. So those are the three top three lines. You can number them however you want. Most people will say the Kadri line is number one, or maybe the Pospisil line's number one. I don't know, but those are usually how you number the lines, 1, 2, and 3. And then there's the fourth line that is yet to be determined. So the argument right now is kind of between playing Matt Coronato on a fourth line, or should we send him back to the AHL? That's kind of the question about what to do with Matt Coronato. A lot of people would say he's better off playing NHL because he needs to be at the right level of competition. Meanwhile, a lot of other people might be saying that he's better off playing in the AHL because he'll get more minutes. So he gets more time to actually play at a higher, more reps, more chances to actually get out there and perfect his game. So those are kind of the options for him right now in terms of where he could slot into the lineup, is either fourth line NHL or back down to the A, where he could play on the top line. But it doesn't necessarily have to be like that. The lines are not set in stone. And there's another young player that is kind of making matters even more complicated, and that is Jacob Pelche, because Pelche is on his first non-waiver eligible season. So that means he can't be sent to the AHL without clearing waivers first, which means another team can just kind of take him. They can sign him right off the Flames roster and steal him as a player, which, obviously we don't want to lose a player for nothing. So does he deserve a spot on the lineup? I think that he does as well. I think Matt Coronato deserves a spot on the lineup as well. So the complicated part is, how are we going to fit all these guys in? It doesn't really match up the amount of players that we have, the amount of spots in the lineup. But to be honest, it's a pretty good problem to have. If you guys didn't catch the preseason games so far, we've had some big wins. 6-1, 6-2, and 6-3 were the scores for all the games. So until we lost that one yesterday in Vancouver, but. With that being said, you can't expect that kind of result every single night, but it's a really good sign for the future. Maybe it's a chance to get some momentum going into the regular season. So, what does that mean? What does that mean for the team? What does that mean for the slotting of these guys? I don't know, guys. It's going to be really complicated. I actually envy. I do not envy the decision that has to be made regarding those young guys like Coronado, Peltier. Even a lot of people are talking about Hanzek now as well, potentially getting a spot in the roster. So it gets a little muddled. It gets a little complicated. I guess the one thing that the team could be looking at potentially this year is maybe doing some trades later on in the season to get some more assets back, like some draft picks or maybe some other young prospects. A lot of people talked about trading Kuzmenko since he's on an expiring deal, maybe pumping and dumping, for lack of a better term, Anthony Mantha, getting full value out of him because the Flames just signed Mantha. I think Craig Conroy and Ryan Huska talked about sort of using Mantha to unlock Huberdeau, getting Huberdeau to play better because he's got a better shooter on his wing. So maybe if it works and Mantha ends up becoming a big-time goal scorer and ends up getting a lot of points, he'll be coveted at the trade deadline. And if the Flames are out of it at that point, maybe they'll trade him off and get some more assets in return. Personally, I think that if the team is going well and everything is sort of going in the direction of a real rebuild where the team seems to be coming together and rallying around being the underdog and being counted out so early, I think that the Flames shouldn't necessarily be so, itchy to trade away any of the star players. And I hear me out, guys. I know there's a lot of people that are saying, well, no, they have to. They're doing a rebuild, so they have to trade away veterans, established guys that are older. They have to trade them away to get young players. But the problem with that theory is that if you trade away all of your good players, you have nobody left, then the team is sort of stuck middling for even longer. They're always trying to, play up to their potential, and they don't have any leadership. They don't have anybody looking, to help the team be better than what they normally could be. So, I don't think that it's going to be necessary to trade away guys just for the sake of trading them. It might make sense to just play them out, see how they do, and if they're worthy of building into the future, then re-sign them. Some of these guys aren't even that old. I think Kuzmenko is only 28 or something like that. So I hear a lot of people saying, well, he's 28, so he doesn't fit the age for a rebuilding team. We want guys in their early 20s. Well, guess what, guys? Even if he signed, let's say, a 5-year deal at the end of this expiring contract, he still would only be 33 by the time that the contract is done. And maybe by then the rebuild is officially over and the Flames are a contending team. Could they not still use a guy that's 33 on the team? It's not like he's super old at that point. So, who knows? If anything, I think that the way that the team is constructed right now is actually really good, despite the fact that they do not have just a single game breaker, a superstar in the lineup, really. There's not really a guy that you can point to and say, wow, that guy, is a bona fide NHL superstar. So where do you get those guys? A lot of the times it's through drafting and developing. They don't just grow on trees though. You can't just find them anywhere. So why not, look within and see maybe there is a superstar that's already playing for the Flames right now. We just don't know who he is yet. He just hasn't gotten to that point yet. So anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed podcast episode number 3. Like and subscribe.